What if Female Deku was Surge? Part 3. As Surge wakes up, as the first thing she sees is the doctor. Well, it seems like someone has failed to even face the heroes, as she would simply just electrocute in front of her, seemingly having him disappear, as she would look around the room frantically. Where are you? She has her fists up as the gear is glowing on her, as then Kit would enter the room. Surge? As she would turn around and prepare a charge, as then she knows it's Kit. Oh, Kit, it's just you. Are you alright, Surge? Yeah, I'm fine. As she simply just sits down. Just got some things on my mind. And what may that be, Surge? You remember that doctor? Yeah, the one that created us? Yeah. I've been having seen him lately. How? I made sure to get rid of him. I can't tell how. I can just see him. It's really irritating me. As she starts to spark. I want to take down these heroes. But I need something to really power charge me. Something that could give me the boost I need to take down these heroes. Oh, Surge, I know. What? Why don't we try... You said you need a boost of energy, right? Yeah. Something that has a lot of power. Why don't we try a power plant? As she would quickly look at Kit. Why, that may actually work. To grab enough power to power me up. Yeah, that should work. But first, did you see the news about what happened to Overhaul? What news? Where Overhaul had lost his arms and the League of Villains. Oh, I didn't trust those punks. Anyway, how long do you think it'll take to get to a power plant from here? Well, it should take us at least you probably less than an hour. But for me, it'll take at least an hour. So there's one close by. Noted. I'll simply just run over there and just take all the power from the power plant. But, Surge, to make sure you don't have any things, it'll take a little while to set everything up. Fine. After all, we're gonna need all the power hanging to one location. So I'm gonna need you to do your tech stuff and try to arrange all the power through that power plant straight towards me and the gear. As she looks at the gear she's wearing. That way I'll be unstoppable. And those heroes won't know what hit them. You're right. As basically, they would prepare to go to the power plant. As Kitsunami would leave. As soon as Kitsunami left, Surge would start to sweat. As seemingly someone's head is right next to her. You're going to fail. Just like you failed to beat those heroes. As she would turn around trying to punch the figure, but he was gone. Come out wherever you are. I know you're here. Why? So you could just attack me again. As she would then try to kick where the voice was at. Just answer the question. Where are you? Why, I'm right over here. As she would turn around and see him. Get out of my head. As she would just run towards, trying to throw a punch. As she would then just roll and hit a wall. Ugh, my head. You're a failure. You are simply just a failed creation that can't follow orders. As she would then just punch the bed that Kit and her would sleep on. Seemingly destroy it. Shut up. Why? Because you can't do anything. As then she would hit a wall, seemingly breaking it. I said be quiet! As the voice would simply disappear. I can't get rid of him. Why? As then Kit would come in. Surge, you read? As then he would see the room in damage. As he would come up. Surge, are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine. As she would walk by. As Kit would look at the room before following Surge. How far did you say that power plant was? Uh, pretty close, actually. Then let's get moving. I don't want to stay here a moment longer. Alright. As they would seemingly make their way towards the power plant. As they would arrive, of course there would be a few security guards. It's a power plant. As Surge and Kitsunami would easily take them out. As they would walk in. As Surge would just punch the front gate, basically blowing it off. Out of my way, as a few more security guards would come out, as she just electrocutes them. As Kit would deal with some of the others with his water powers. As she would simply just walk over to the center of the power plant. Alright, this is the spot, right, Kit? Yeah, it'll take me a few moments to get everything powered up towards those main circle area. Alright, I'll wait there. You get everything powered up. Alright. As Surge would simply just wait there, just stomping her foot. As Kit would go to the control room, preparing to send all power towards where Surge is standing. How long is this going to take, Kit? It may take a moment. After all, I'm saying all power that this power plant is connected to, straight to you. Yeah, but of course, people would notice if the power is being sent elsewhere. So the heroes are going to catch on. So, alright. On the count of 3, Surge. Right. 1, 2, 3, as he would move a lever, as all the power would come to Surge, as that huge shockwave would be sent after all the power entered into the device, and electrocuting Surge. As she gets up, as her eyes are glowing, as she smiles, as that, wave had gone through most of Japan, shutting off all power. To most places, unless you had backup power. As Surge would feel faster, as then she would just instantly appear behind Kit. I'm a bit faster than I normally am. And she would then just simply barely tap the wall as it would basically explode. Now that's some power. As she would just simply run, as she would just run so fast that it would be breaking the ground in some buildings. As she appears right back next to Kit. Now this is what I'm talking about. As then, of course, some heroes would arrive on scene. As Surge would run out, hit one, then hit the other. As she would move fast, taking out all the heroes at once. Now, this is fun. As she would just continue to be on a hero. As Kitsunami would come out and help deal with the police. I'm all energized. I can't say, this feels great. As then Kit was like, are you alright with all that power? I'll be fine, Kit. Let's just continue with this. As she would just suddenly send a shock blast blowing up a few cars, as more heroes and all that would arrive on the scene. As then a familiar hero known as Mirako would show up on the scene. Well, it looks like we got some villains attacking the power plant. I'm gonna need you to turn the power back on. As Surge would walk up, that's not gonna be anywhere necessary, hero. After all, I just took all the power from the power plant. As she would then just run and punch Mirko in the face. As she would do a backflip, basically correcting her momentum. As Surge was surprised, as she would quickly back up fast. Wow, you managed to actually withstand my blow. As she would then just simply punch, sending an electric attack towards Mirko. As she would dodge it, before rushing at her, throwing a kick. As she would just lower her head before grabbing her leg and trying to spin her around, but Mirko would use her other foot, hitting her in the face, sending her towards a wall. As she would just simply put her hands on the wall, then do a flip on top of the wall. You think that's gonna stop me? As then Kit would just immobilize her legs, as Surge would then just punch her in the face several times. Take this! As she would basically be being hit in the face several times. That's what you get, hero. Before she sends a large electrical attack, sending her through the city. Yeah, that's more like. And then she would get a slight shock as she would fall to the ground a little bit sweating. She'd get back up. She'd get another shock. What's wrong? As Kit would notice this and go to her. Surge, are you alright? I'm fine. Let's get out of here. As basically Surge would grab Kit and they would run. And they would run to where they were hiding out at, which happened to have been one of Overhaul's, well, old bases. Hideouts. What was that feeling? It felt like I was being shocked. I shouldn't feel that pain. As Kit would come over and try to figure out what's wrong with Surge. Are you sure you're alright, Surge? Yes, I'm fine. Just a little, how to say, shocked, I supposed. Maybe the overload from the power plant had some side effects. I doubt it. I'm fine now. Maybe it was just expending too much energy. That could have been it, yeah. You sure? Yeah, no need to dig into it more. Alright. So what's our next target? Well, let's keep on targeting heroes. As Kit would say, do you think there's anyone out there that will appreciate us? As Surge would look at Kit before going to him. Listen, Kit. Don't you dare think of that. To this world, we're just thrown away trash. Those heroes abandoned us. This world has abandoned us. So let's just take it out and we'll stomp on the ashes. As Kitsunami agrees. Yeah, you're right, Surge. Now come on. I want to see what else I can do. As they would go to seemingly into like a training facility. As she would simply test out her abilities, breaking a few things. As then the doctor would show up. As she would definitely turn and then just throw an electric attack towards the wall, seemingly breaking the entire wall. As Kit would come up, as noticing Surge's heavy breathing. Surge, you alright? Yeah. As then she would see the doctor again, just staring at her. Before she blinks and he's gone. It's nothing. As she would just storm off. What are you not telling me, Surge? As Kitsuname is concerned. As she would go into the room. As she would take off the equipment for a moment. But still, even without the equipment that is fully powered, she still has a lot of energy going through her. As soon as she took it off, she just falls to the ground. As a huge shock is basically seemingly shocking her. As she quickly grabs the equipment and puts it back on. It looks like I can't take it off without overloading. I can't tell if that's a bad or good thing at this point. But let's take out some more heroes. As she would seemingly get back up. Alright, Kitsuname. As Kit would show up. Yes, Surge? So where's the nearest agency? As Kitsuname would tell, well, her. Then let's go. As they're about to leave to go attack the agency. As then somebody appears on the monitor where Kit was sitting at. It doesn't look like we have to go after any heroes. Why? As Kit would walk over, Surge would walk over, put her hand on the chair and look over. As she would smile. They came to us. Prepare the place. We gotta give these guys a warm welcome. As she hits her fist with her fist. As the heroes outside, consisting of All Might, Eraserhead, Present Mike, Midnight, Mirko, and the Dragon Hero. As they would seemingly walk to the door. As they would open for them. As they'd walk in. As Surge would be watching from, basically from the lights. As they would walk into a main area. As several, training robots the Doctor would use to test Surge and Kit would appear and attack. As then Kitsunami would quickly run and hit All Might, sending him towards a wall, before running towards the Dragon Hero who had transformed, and then just punching her. As then she would run towards Aizawa as he uses his quirk on her, but it doesn't seem to affect her. As she simply rolls over, as Midnight uses her quirk, but she's going so fast that her quirk doesn't affect her. As she would roam around in a ball before hitting Present Mike, who was yelling. As All Might then would come over and hit her, sending her flying down the hall, as she would hit a wall. As she noticed that there's a crack in her, device, as she would simply grab it, before jumping back and into the shadows and fleeing. As the hero's like, I guess that's our villain? Yes, she's pretty much took all the power from the power plant and is storing it in herself. She's basically very powerful at this point. And my quirk didn't work on her. That is very peculiar. As they would go further into the power plant. As basically they would kind of separate a little bit. As Surge would come over and then just start attacking once more. As she would go over and punch the Dragon Hero in the face, Present Mike would yell, sending her towards a wall. As then she would power herself up once again with the electricity and rush towards Aizawa. As Aizawa managed to block with the first hit, but then got hit in the face. As All Might comes over, as she puts her hands up, as she's sent towards the wall. As then she power charges, hitting All Might in the head, before going towards Midnight, hitting her into a wall. Before Present Mike and the Dragon Hero do a combo attack, as she barely managed to block it. As she's walking forward toward them, then finally, it seems the device had overloaded, sending out a huge shockwave, breaking, making a huge lot of electricity, as she would fall to the ground with her eyes unconscious. As Kitsunami would come down. Listen, villain, surrender, as... Listen, I'm not going to let y'all hurt Surge anymore. As Kit would grab Surge. Y'all can just drown, as in the place would seemingly start to flood. As Kit and Surge would leave. With Kit taking Surge. Of course, they managed to break through the roof and fly out thanks to the Dragon Hero's help. Who were those villains? I don't know, but I sure wonder. What was their goal? As that is the end of part 3 of What If Female Deku Was Surge. Make sure to like and subscribe.